Hey guys, this is Eric Cronover from Nerdy Geek Talk. This is for all your nerdy geek needs. Here with episode 4 of Movie Mondays, and joining me again is Darth Forge, aka John. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing great, and we are here to talk about Thor 3, so Thor Ragnarok. Overall, I think we can both agree that this is a very strong movie, just right off the bat, right?
100% yes.
This is, I would say, no, I'm not saying it's the strongest Marvel movie because it's not my favorite, but it is certainly one of the strongest. Not saying that it's like top two, top three, but it is definitely one of the strongest out of the many, many films we have. Would you say
Oh
so?
yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It is strong. I would also say it's my favorite Thor movie, hands down. What about you?
Oh yeah. I with the Thor movies, it goes this movie, the first one, and
And
then
then the second one.
the second one doesn't even go on the same list of liking Thor movies.
Um,
I only saw that movie once, and I don't remember a thing that happened from it.
yeah, I kind of don't remember the second one that much
If it
either.
if it
I'm
wasn't
okay with
for
it.
the one spoilers, guys, but if it wasn't for the one scene with Matt Damon, I probably would have forgotten that Loki was like had a fake death scene.
Yeah, that is kind of true, and I'm kind of okay with that, not remembering the second one. But overall, would you
Yeah, me
say
too.
that this one fits with, like, if the Thor, like, because it is technically a trilogy, I guess, would you say that the third one fits with the other two?
Um,
That doesn't mean it's a bad thing if it doesn't, or if it does.
I would say that out of the trilogies that they've made, this one is the most different than the other trilogy, than the other two
Two in the
movies.
trilogy. Yeah, I don't think it
Like it's
necessarily
the
fits with
most
them that well.
drastic. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the most drastic change from the format that they've had
I think it
out of
takes
the
it takes
that they've had.
several characters that were pretty serious, and makes them not so serious. Not Thor himself, because Thor has always been kind of funny, just because he's somewhat
A goofy.
ridiculous. Yeah,
Yeah.
they've
Yeah.
always done that. But in terms of other characters, they kind of took several characters that weren't funny and made them funny. So and it not in a bad way, in the slightest. Like I really, really
Yeah.
like the way they did it. But in terms of having a cohesive trilogy, I don't think that this one fits. It doesn't fit poorly. I don't want to say, but it doesn't fit great either. I'd say it's kind of middle ground because it's such a strong standalone movie. Um, who is your favorite character in this movie?
Uh, Probably Thor.
I really, really liked Thor. I also really liked Hulk and Loki, but my favorite was Korg.
I
Oh
didn't
my
really feel like he was a
God.
main character though. He was
He
definitely
is in
there a
my
lot, but
heart.
like he
No,
he
you're
wasn't
right.
in
He's
the
definitely
movie
he's not a
enough
he's not a
to
main
be
character. I
a main
cheated.
character.
Thor is definitely my favorite main character. Although I liked Hela more than I thought I would. She was hella good.
I've heard. Oh God, goodbye.
What were you gonna say?
Um, I've heard different about Hela from other people. I thought she was fine, but I I heard things from I didn't like it too. It was a bad villain from people, but
I thought she
I
was
thought
one of
she
the
did
stronger
fine.
Marvel villains. Not necessarily the strongest, but one of the stronger ones.
I mean, not really, because her motivation is I've always been bad, so I have to do this kind of thing.
Uh, I wouldn't say her motivation was quite that simple. It was sort of similar, but it's a lot better than a lot of Marvel villains.
I mean,
Like
I guess.
Marvel sucks at villains. Just putting that out there. Marvel's pretty great, but they are pretty god awful at villains. I'm not saying they never succeed. They have a couple good ones. But villains, I would say, is by far the weakest part of almost any Marvel movie. Usually. Again, there are exceptions, but more
On
often,
average, yes.
yes, average Marvel villain is awful. Not good. There are some great ones, but again, average one, trash. And so I'd say that Hela was better than a decent amount of Marvel villains. Not necessarily that she was great. I liked her though. Um, So one thing I want to discuss is what do you think about the fact that, and this is a spoiler. I don't know if we already said spoilers or not. This is the biggest spoiler. Um, what do you think about the fact that they changed the trailers to show Thor having two eyes in scenes where after he got his eye cut out? I found that really interesting. They altered scenes on purpose for the trailers. If you know do you know what moments I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I really didn't find it that interesting. They
I
did
found it
that to
interesting that
conceal
they
a plot point.
faked it. I can't think of another movie where they've had movies where they mislead in the trailers and stuff like that, but not where they've altered footage to fake it. I've never seen that.
I'm 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 pretty sure you have. You just can't think of it at the moment. Like, for instance, I know for a fact that I've seen this somewhere. I just can't remember off the top of my head exactly where
That's
from.
not very strong evidence.
I know, but I it didn't
I'm telling
surprise
you,
me because I remember
it almost never happens though. Trailers can
it.
often be very misleading, but it is I can't think of any other movie I've seen where they've literally altered the footage. They've had scenes that have not appeared in the movies, but I'm talking about a scene that appears in the movie and they very much intended it that way, but they altered it for the footage to altered the footage, something like that. So I found it very interesting that they did that because that is not something that's as often as you might think. I'm telling you, trailers are
It's
often deceptive. They are almost always deceptive, but I've never ever seen something faked like that.
I'm not saying that it happens often. I'm just saying you've definitely seen it somewhere. You can't think of it at the moment. I it's happened at least one other time.
Mm,
I it
I
has
want you to
at
find
least from
one.
what I've seen.
Not right now, but
I,
I want you to
yeah,
find one because I am almost certain that there's no other movie that has faked it so much like this, at least. Which I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. In fact, I prefer that. Like it by no means did it annoy me. I was very surprised. I really liked it actually though. I wish they would do that more often. Not necessarily in I like the way they did it. It's hard to say. I don't want them to start faking movie trailers because that's deceptive, but I'm okay with faking spoilers in order to almost mislead the audience or
it
how
wasn't really a mislead. It was more of
eh,
a here's a really cool shot, but it would spoil something that
but
happens
it's
in it. So
misleading
we're just
because
going to alter it slightly so it doesn't spoil
a
anything.
lot of the audience thinks that oh, he's going to get his eye back by the end.
I
So,
mean, I didn't really think that.
you're in the minority on that. I almost everyone I know of has like said,
Well,
"Oh, I really like. I can't believe he didn't get his eye back." And so,
well,
and
they're
I'm not saying
stupid because I don't know about you, but I don't really.
they would
I
do
know
that.
it's
They would do that in
a
a
magic
movie.
world.
They would do
They
that.
would, but they
I'm not
would,
saying
but
no. I am glad that they didn't. Don't get me wrong. They went the route I wanted them to, but that is something they absolutely would do in a movie.
like Thor is along with Aquaman is one of those characters where he's gone without eyes, he's gone without arms. That I can totally see them just doing something like that and it making sense.
I was surprised they did it in the movie. I really like the way they did it. I would love it if he lost an arm and got a black, what's it called, arm like he does in the Unworthy Thor comic. He has like a black.
Yeah, yeah,
I
I know
forget what the
exactly what you're
material
talking
is.
about.
It's really neat though. I love that. But
Yeah.
I really like the fact that that covered up the spoiler though, because like when that scene came, I was
Mhm.
so surprised by that, and so I really hate. I love to watch movie trailers and analyze them because like they excite me, but I also hate it because like you can almost because when you think of all the possibilities that could possibly happen and analyze every single thing, you figure out a decent amount of the movie. Now, again, there's always some surprises, but for the most part, you can figure out a lot of the movies. The Thor,
Which I don't like that.
I don't
I
like
don't
it
like that, by
either.
the way.
I don't like
It's
that.
happening more and more, and they're showing more and more of the movies as
Yep,
more and more trailers come out, and it's not a good thing. They need to have
exactly.
some
You need to
management
hold
over their
back more.
marketing teams.
You need to hold back more because they're showing a lot of their money shots. And again, you have to show a couple in the trailers, but it's happening more and more that they're showing more and more, and there's less being saved for the movie. And it's like, Why do you go to the movie if you can just see all the good parts in the trailers? But I thought this movie did a great job of not doing that. So I just wanted to call that out that I thought they did a really good job. And even though it shocked me, I am glad they did that. That's something that I would
I
like to happen
I
more
honestly
often.
think that the whole hiding the fact that he loses an eye in the trailer is a lot less of a deal than everyone's making it out to be. It's not that big of a deal. I wasn't.
Him losing an eye, that
I'm
was
not that
pretty big.
awkward.
That was a pretty big deal.
No, I'm saying them altering a scene so that way that you don't know he loses an eye in the trailer.
I think that's a great thing. I'm not saying that it's
It's a
like,
good thing, but I'm saying that people are making it more of a deal than it really is.
I don't think so. I think it's more of a precedent that they're setting that I would love to see keep going. As
Well,
in, like,
yeah,
I want to see that
definitely.
keep happening. That's why it's big. It's because it's something that isn't being done a lot that I really hope starts getting done a lot. Overall, the movie's hilarious,
Oh
and
yeah.
I'm glad. Is there anything else that really makes it stand out? The characters are very interesting, I would like to say as well.
I would like to say something about the humor. I thought the humor was kind of strange because it was very childish humor. However, they would also go out and like throw around words like orgy and very like adult kind of words, but with really childish humor. Like it was like the humor was more appealing to children, but then they would go and say something that's a little bit more adult
I
themselves.
wouldn't say that it's necessarily child humor. It was more like dumb funny, which a lot of kids find funny
Yeah,
because they get it. But it wasn't a lot of, I wouldn't necessarily that it was childish humor. It was just dumb funny. There's a slight difference. But no, you're definitely right. There's a lot more dumb funny than
yeah,
pretty much. I'd say this is probably the most we've ever seen in a Marvel movie, which are always pretty funny.
probably.
I would say that this is probably the highest amount of humor we've had in a Marvel movie. And you know what? I thought it worked well for what it was, though. Like
Yeah,
I agree, it was certainly a lot. Like it even took me back a little bit because I was like, wow, this really is a lot. But it's what it's going for one. And two, I think it really just helps it overall and it makes it stand out too. Like I think if they had tried to make Thor Ragnarok super serious, it would not have gone nearly as well. I'm not saying it would have been a bad movie. I don't think it would be nearly the hit that it is. Do you think that's
yeah,
a fair statement?
that is a fair statement.
Hmm.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, overall, we both really like it. I'd definitely say it's worth. I'd say it's worth buying too. Like
Oh yeah.
I don't buy movies a ton. I don't never buy movies. I'm not one of those people, but I do. It's somewhat rare when I buy movies, so I think I'm gonna buy this one because I would watch this several times over again. It's good enough to
Oh yeah.
rewatch.
Definitely.
Hmm.
Definitely.
So yeah, that's about it. We really like it if you couldn't tell. So definitely make sure you check that out. Also check out our Twitters at Eric Crowbar for me, at Darth Forge for John. There'll be links in the description below. And also like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.